Good.
Yeah. It is what it is, but I was a little relieved.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is the one that I used to introduce, right?
No, that's just engineering comments.
All right. I think you gave it to me, right?
Yes. So when you introduce each one, it's just the first application, and then you read aloud the.
Which one is the
So you just so you say Dundee University Notice of Intent, DEP panel member, and then you just read the applicant name.
All right, I thought there was like another sheet with the, like, which schedule
Oh,
happened.
the agenda?
Yeah.
That's right there.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's your agenda.
That's why.
Put
That's your
that in
engineering
your-
comments.
And then,
Yeah, I
one
knew I
thing
had
is
it off.
very handy. In,
Okay.
followed with the memo. She'll go through and she tells you what waivers.
Check.
But then she just lists the votes that we have to do. So it comes from, if you just go down that list, you're not gonna miss one. 'Cause
Alright.
a lot of times I used to miss those in public hearings stuff. But, now she has every vote listed in there.
Everything's good. Just waiting.
How come I can hear you? Oh, wait.
And I think this one tonight.
Wait, why can I still?
Your laptop running on.
I wanna go see this.
I know it is.
Hold on. I think I fixed it. Wait, no. Why is sound coming through my laptop?
You mean this
Did you
one?
just push something?
I just turned off mine because I bet it was picking up
Yeah.
mine.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn it back on again just to see if that.
I'm right with you.
Check. Ah, yeah, it is mine. Okay, I'll fix that up.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and as long as these pick up everything and sound is recording them.
Yeah, all's good.
Okay, will you just give us the thumbs up when you're ready and then we can get started? Great, thank you. All right, so one sec, Mary. As soon as he gives us the go, you can go.
All right, we're good? Okay. Welcome to the Danvers Conservation Commission meeting, date March 18th, 2026.
Today's the 26th.
Oh, what is it?
March
26th.
Oh, 26th.
That's okay.
March 26th, sorry. Okay, we operate under the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 130. Is that better?
Yes.
I can also speak up. We operate under the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, and Chapters 26 of the Town of Danvers General Bylaw, the Wetlands Protection Bylaw. After the applicant presents his or her request and the board has had time to ask questions and discuss the project, we will accept questions from the audience. Because this is a public meeting, it is required by law that you give your name and address first. Although we may disagree on the issues raised, all persons present during this meeting are expected to be civil to all other meeting attendees. This includes members of the commission staff, abutters, concerned citizens, and property owners and project applicants. We also request that you confine your questions to the project and only as it pertains to the Wetlands Act. We cannot handle, nor do we have jurisdiction regarding things such as noise or traffic. All problems not related to the Wetlands Protection Act and the Town of Danvers Wetlands Protection Bylaw must be taken up with other boards. My name is Mary Height, and I'm present. Is Lorraine Drapek here? She's not here. Is Paul McNulty here?
Present.
Michael Splain? He's not here. And Peter Wilson?
Present.
All right, so let's do our first agenda item. The first notice on our meeting today is Notice of Intent 310 CMR 10.05 for 96 to 98 Newberry Street, DEP file number 14-1449. The applicant is Stephen Tedesco, Tamar Properties LLC.
You don't have to say that.
Good evening. For the record, John Moran from the Moran Cameron Group. We're here tonight representing Tamar Properties for a notice of intent application for the property located at 9698 Newbury Street. Probably the best sheet to start off with, Emily, is probably, we can go right to sheet 5, I think.
Okay, 1 second. Zoom out a
So
little bit.
as stated in the notice, or actually in the notice that was read, we did receive a DEP file number. DEP did not have any comments. Proposed work within the buffer zone. So what you see there is the back side of the property. So this development is an existing mobile home park on Route 1, and they're looking at expanding at the rear of the property. So the wetlands are located at the very back or the westerly side of the property. What you see on the screen, the green is the actual wetland edge. Yellow is the BVW.
Oh, 1 second, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. The screen's going in and out a little bit there. Sorry, go on.
No
Sorry about that.
worries. So the yellow is the limit of the 100-foot buffer zone. So you can see about 80% of the project is actually outside the buffer zone. We do have some work. So work within the buffer zone proposed includes the expansion of an existing paved driveway. I'm just going to take a walk over to the screen for a second. I can project pretty loud, so if you can't hear me, I can speak up instead of standing at the microphone. But we're looking at, again, the green is the edge of the wetland. The yellow is the 100-foot buffer zone, so the commission has jurisdiction from that green line out to that yellow line. The red is the 35-foot no disturb. The orange is the 50-foot no build. So what we're proposing is we're expanding an existing paved road that currently runs back here. This paved road actually starts heading out to Center Street, then it turns into gravel. We're proposing one mobile home within the buffer zone and a portion of another mobile home. We've got some drainage structures in there. Danvers Electric requested that we install 5 new utility poles to service this facility. 4 of those poles are actually in the buffer zone, and they're located right along here with the last pole over there. We do have a water main that's going in, that's being extended. We do have some sewer manhole and some sewer services that are within the buffer zone. But the majority of the work that's in the buffer zone that you can see here is the actual drainage system. As you know, under your regulations, the commission is allowed to grant relief to allow drainage structures in the 35 to 50 no build. If those drainage structures are designed in accordance with the stormwater standards. These drainage facilities are designed in accordance with the stormwater standards, the Mass standards, as well as the Town of Danvers standards. We've been in front of the planning board for site plan review, so Danvers Engineering has already reviewed the drainage system and has signed off on it. We are required to submit a stormwater permit. That'll actually be submitted tomorrow. But again, the actual drainage system's already been approved. The stormwater permit's really a formality at this point. Everything's been submitted and reviewed. We also need a water and sewer permit. That won't be done until they're ready to start construction, so we don't need to file for that yet.
I'm so sorry that the screen
Back up.
keeps going in and out like that. I apologize.
So again, the majority of work that's within the commission's jurisdiction is the drainage system. You know, detention basins, forebays, all stuff related to stormwater mitigation. And again, it's all designed in accordance with the stormwater standards. We do have some additional pavement in the no-build zone, which is actually upslope. So as I had mentioned, there's an existing paved driveway or roadway that kind of comes in and wraps around in this location. We're actually adding some pavement to that in the vicinity, right in this,
I'm not touching anything. You guys see it, I know.
right in this corner, and it's actually upslope of the existing paved road. So it's not within, it's not right up against the 50-foot, it's actually upslope of existing pavement that is located in the 50-foot. And that area is only 280 square feet. Again, we are proposing stormwater mitigation in the no-build, which is allowed, the commission is allowed to approve that. However, one of the criteria is the commission may allow alteration within the no-build, but you're only allowed to alter up to 20%. So in our narrative that was submitted with the notice, we're altering approximately 2,650 square feet of land within the no-build, and that's about 11%. So we're well below the 20% that the commission may allow. As required under your regulations, we did submit the required request for waiver form. It pretty much discusses everything that I just talked about is within that. Obviously, I'm giving a kind of a reduced version of what's in the narrative and what's in the waiver request form. I'm just trying to hit on the major points right now. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward application. One of the sheets you'll notice, I think it's page C5. I mean C6, sorry.
Sure, no problem. And I can
nope.
zoom in on that if that would help too.
C7, we'll go to C7. Try C4, sorry.
Sure, no, that's okay,
I liked it better when I could put boards on plans on a board.
right?
Then, might be C3.
Oh, we just lost the screen again. Okay. Oh, it just came back.
How about C2?
C2?
Actually, it's C3, it's right there.
Oh, okay, no problem.
So, one of the things you'll notice in the notice, it appears this property was developed, there's a lot of young growth, you know, when we say young growth, we're still talking 30 years ago, you know, that this stuff came in. You know, all up against the, you know, in the buffer zone up front. Some of the commission members may recall, I believe about 10, 15 years ago, a sewer line was installed out to Center Street. Based on what we found, there's a lot of just old construction debris and just stuff kind of all throughout the buffer zone. What we're proposing as part of the application is we're gonna clean that up. And we'll be putting down a seed mix in that area. The detention basins are both designed with a seed mix. And then the areas around the basins also have a separate seed mix. The wetlands were delineated by DeRosa Environmental out of Rowley. They based it on soils and vegetation. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, John. Let's see. Peter, do you have any questions?
It just, could you orientate me to where we are? I mean, Center Street, is that going off?
Yeah, if you want to go to sheet 1, that's probably going to be the best.
Sure.
So based on this, this is the site right here. This is the existing mobile home park right here. This is the proposed expansion. This is Route 1.
Route 1,
Here's Center Street right here. So, you know, again, here's the entrance to the park right here. Here's the expansion. Here's the commission's 100-foot setback. So this area right here is what's in the commission's jurisdiction. We are proposing, there's an existing gravel road that heads out to Center Street. That'll be designated as a fire access road only. The fire department asked that we designate that officially as emergency access only, which was done. It will be gated. Pretty much that entire construction of that access road is outside the commission's jurisdiction, as you can see.
you're adding how many sites?
Can you go to page 5 again? That's probably going to be the quickest.
Sure.
I think it's 26.
But only one is within our jurisdiction.
1.5.
One. So most of the work within our jurisdiction is drainage type work.
Exactly.
Lots of excavation and moving material around.
Yep, but we're taking advantage of the existing topography. You know, the whole site slopes from, pretty much from here back. So obviously, to capture the drainage, we're getting to the lowest point. So that's why really the drainage can't go anywhere else, because it needs to be at the low point so everything can flow by gravity. Yeah, it looks like 24 new units, and like I said, this one is in the commission's jurisdiction, and then half of this one. That's an existing unit right there.
And all of the existing are pretty much outside of our jurisdiction.
Pretty much. You got one of them that's a little bit, this is an existing one here. These are all existing all along here, so these units are all in the commission's jurisdiction. This wetland actually creeps this way and then heads back down, away from the site.
Okay, where are you at with the planning board on this?
Planning board, we're all set. So planning board, all we needed was site plan review. We actually had to start with zoning board. Zoning board gave their approval about a year and a half ago. Planning board approved site plan review, I think about a month ago. And what we wanted to do is we didn't want to come before your board until we had planning board approval.
Okay, thanks. I'm all
Paul, do you have
set,
any
Mary.
questions?
Yeah, so I have a couple of questions. So first of all, in the area that's, Palm, you know who I am, the green down to the red, from the satellite views that I've looked at, there's a tremendous amount of vegetation in there. Is that going to be replaced? I was unclear what you're going to be doing with the
So
vegetation.
you're talking about from the wetland out to the 35-foot?
In that exact relatively that area.
We're not touching anything in the 35-foot no disturb. The
Okay.
only thing we'll be doing is there is old debris, like some concrete and some other debris that's out there, and there's some trash out there. We're gonna clean that up, but we're not doing any vegetation removal in that 0 to 35.
That's between the red, it's just hard to read it from here. That's between the red line,
Exactly, so,
orange line.
yep, so this line right
Yeah.
here.
Yep, oh, there we go,
and the
thank
green
you.
line. We're not doing any work in there.
Yep.
Again, we're not doing any vegetation removal. The only thing we'll be doing is cleaning it up.
And then the second question is, when you present it to the planning board, and I know that their jurisdiction is not conservation, wetlands, why are you proposing building in the buffer zone?
The proposal in the buffer zone, again, is
The 1.5, I mean, that was 1.5 units that are there.
just, first, that it complies. Your regulation, we meet the no-build zone, so we're allowed to put those units there under your regulations. So that's one of the main reasons, and we did a lot of work trying to keep everything as far out of the buffer. We made some agreements with some of the neighbors, which actually pushed everything back in one direction, and that kind of changed some of the orientation of the units. But again, those 2 units that are within your jurisdiction comply to your regulations.
Is that the case, Peter? I'm just new enough.
Yes, with the waiver that's requested, it's in compliance.
So the units don't
The
need the
unit.
But if
waiver.
I,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's at our discretion.
It is, yes.
We are not obligated to grant that waiver.
No,
This
And it-
is-
Yeah, that's-
it's not a right.
That's right,
It's,
that's right.
it's our discretion whether to allow a building within that or not.
And it's 11%, right?
We're not requesting a waiver for the buildings. The waiver
Oh,
is
yes, my
requested
apologies.
for the
That was my
drainage.
misspeaking there. Yeah, my apologies. on that.
Yeah, so the waiver is, under your regulations, the commission, including stormwater, they don't allow stormwater within the 35 to 50 setback. Your regulations do state, however, the commission may allow stormwater in that zone. And the criteria is you can only disturb up to 20% of the no disturb within that zone. So one of the criteria under your regulations is that if you're doing work in the no disturb and you're requesting a waiver from it, you can't disturb more than 20%. And we're disturbing 11%.
But our discretion is we could say you can't disturb 0%.
Correct, but we're also cleaning up a lot of that buffer zone that's actually between the wetland and the 35. So it's our belief, and in our narrative, we spell it out, the benefit from allowing us to put the stormwater there outweighs doing work in the no disturb. And again, the work in the no disturb is 2,600 square feet. So you're not looking at a big area that's,
I understand all that,
altered.
it's just that you're not the first person that's come in and said that, you know, we have the right to do that under
No,
the
yep.
regulations. That's the maximum what we can allow,
right,
but we could say you can't do any.
yes.
So Peter, I'm sorry, but I'm still a little bit new to this, but to address this, so I'm not quite clear why we would approve, I mean, because we have the ability to approve those 2 units, 1.5 units, right, or am I missing something?
Well,
In the buffer zone.
John is saying, you know, their mitigation is that they're offering to clean up a lot of the wetlands that has been kind of, you know,
So that's the give and the take.
right.
And I think the stormwater system has already been approved by the city, and through the engineering, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're upgrading how that is taken care of.
Yeah, currently there's no stormwater on this site.
And I just had a couple questions. Where you're doing the cleanup, could you just show us where that is?
Yep.
And how much of the space, are you taking down vegetation or trees, or are you just removing
No, there's no
debris?
vegetation removal. It's all just the removal of debris. And there's some trash that's blown into there, and it's just been going in there for years that nobody's taken it out. But it's like it's almost like when they built the access road, when the sewer went in, there's some old concrete that they must have dug up from somewhere. There's piles of concrete out there. So in the buffer zone, and it's pretty much all, it's not one spot, it's kind of all throughout this whole area right in here. And again, there's no vegetation removal in that area. It's all just the removal of material. That's just piles of material that are in there, and then the trash that's in there as well.
But
And then that whole area will be seeded where they
Right.
remove the stuff.
I may not be following, but one of your charts actually says trees and other vegetation to be removed.
Which,
Oh, I can't tell, hold on, I'll give you the number here. I can't tell which number it is. Hold on, where would it be in the chart here? Trying to find it. It would be looks like, well, page 2 of the drawings.
Paul, is it this one that you're looking at?
Say again?
Is this the correct one?
Nope. I wish I could find the number online, so I sure I have the right number.
you mind, could I look at your?
Yeah, fine, please. It's this one here.
I have it.
You got it?
Paul, I have it.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure this is
It's
the
on
one.
3?
Vegetation, hold on a second. It's on 3?
Yep. I have one here if you want to take a look.
Yeah, trees and other vegetation be removed.
Yeah, it's over there.
Which note? Yeah, that's outside the 35, though. The question was there any vegetation being removed in the 35-foot no disturb? And there's no vegetation being removed in the 35-foot no disturb. The area where the vegetation's being removed, if you go to page 3, I think it was page 3. So what these notes are for is then if you go to page 5, that's the grading for all the stormwater that's in there. Obviously, we have to remove vegetation for that. We can't build the drainage and still keep the shrubs and trees in place.
Okay?
And that type of work is allowed in the 25, or the 35 to 50 grading. But the stormwater requires your relief.
Are you guys good, or?
I'm all set for
Yeah.
now, yep.
All right, I think I'm good too. Let's see. So we've asked our questions. Is there anybody here from the public who would like to speak? And if there is, either here or remotely.
I do not have any,
There's two.
Justice League.
Yep, you can
I-
just go up
yep.
and just introduce yourself when you go up and then share. Yep.
and just, I'm just gonna chime in here. Sandra, I do see that you have your hand raised remotely. We're gonna go through the people in the audience first, and then I'll unmute you and you'll be able to speak as well.
Well, good evening. My name is Jane Thornell, 182 Center Street. I'm an abutter to this project that we've been following. A number of us abutters have been following for several years now. You know, to give you just a little history, when we first got our notice that there were a proposed 36 units to be distributed behind all of our homes. Obviously, they were stacked like cordwood. I did my due diligence and went up and down Route 1 looking at every mobile home park to see, because quite frankly, I guess the word is shocked when I went into this one. They're, as I say, they're stacked. I can't even believe that emergency vehicles can access some of these pre-existing homes. And we have heard that they started in the 1940s, well before anything, you know, there were even any regulations. But it was unfortunate that during the 2 years that they were planning this, they didn't reach out not to any of the abutters. So that was a really an unfortunate start to this whole project. So we've been to planning after planning after planning. I absolutely applaud anything that you can do to get debris from back there. As I say, I toured the site before I was told it was private, although there still are no signs saying it's private property. But I did tour it, and there's, you know, a cleanup is certainly well overdue in this area. I just wanted to be 100% sure that I'm understanding. So that 36, despite the fact that all of the abutters, and we had tenants there as well, the only person that was advocating for an expansion of even 24 units was the owner. And I think it's probably still that way, but the point being, that 1.5 units, that's from the existing 24, that is not an additional unit and a half. Am I correct?
That's 100% correct. So
Okay.
The unit and a half that are within the commission's jurisdiction are part of the 24 units.
A part of the 24 that everybody but the presenter, the lawyer, and the owner fought tooth and nail to have that number reduced. Okay, I mean, I don't know if anybody has toured this site, but honestly, anything that this commission or any other commission can do to just get this a better representation for housing in Danvers would be much appreciated, not only from the abutters, but certainly from the homeowners on the property. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Would anybody else like to speak? Bill?
Bill always wants to speak.
Bill Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. I know it was made very clear at the prior meeting, this is private property, so you can't venture on there to see what's going on. A couple of my questions. One, did a surveyor delineate where the wetlands border is? Is it staked out, and if are those stakes visible from Center Street through the board? And if they are, that would be nice. Are the stakes left there so that in the future, your 35 and 50 are clearly delineated? From the meetings I've attended, it's looks like trying to put a lot in a very small area. I would be very concerned if I were a neighbor living on Center Street also. But again, my question is it surveyed? Is it clearly marked? Are those markings visible from Center Street? Because you can't go on the property because it was made clear the other night, as I said, it's private property. That's it for now.
Sometimes, Bill, when we have a situation similar to this, as part of if we issue an order of conditions, we'll spell out as one of the conditions that they have to have signs every so many feet, that are clearly marking where the wetlands border is.
But the only way to view that would be to trespass on the property, which you're not
Yeah, I
supposed to.
suppose, private property is private property.
Well, it
but
was
that's,
made very clear the other night that it is private property. No trespassing,
But if there's no
at
order
least
of
at the
condition-
open meeting I attended.
Can I just add something to that?
Yeah, just please come up to the microphone, that's all. Thank you.
So the wetlands were delineated by a wetland botanist. What they do is they hang flags. Those flags are located by our surveyors. We use those locations to design the plan. What Peter's talking about is the Danvers Conservation Commission requires, if they so are inclined to issue an order of conditions, they will most likely condition that along the limit of work line, which is along that 35-foot no disturb, they're going to require permanent monumentation be installed along that line. Usually it might be like a cedar post that has some sort of placard on the top of it. A lot of times they'll do boulders with, they'll epoxy the placard onto the boulder. Obviously the wetland flags, you're not going to see them from Center Street. First of all, topography-wise, you wouldn't be able to see it. All the vegetation in the way, you wouldn't be able to see them. The Conservation Commission and/or their agent and any other town, anyone working for the town has the right to go on the property. So they can view that site. For example, during construction, there'll probably be visits by the town for that work. But again, what usually happens on projects like this, obviously the wetland flags don't last forever. That's why the commission wants to permanently monument that 35-foot no disturb, which is another thing. Right now, there is no monumentation on the 35-foot no disturb because there was really no, back when they put that SOAR in, that wasn't a requirement. So I'm sure if the commission is inclined to issue an order, there'll be a condition in the order that's going to require some sort of monumentation along that line.
Hey, Peter, just, okay.
Hold on.
I am a former town employee, but I don't think that qualifies me. Would the only way to view this would be, what do they call it, Google Map?
If it's private property, that's up to the discretion as the private property owner, if they want people on the property or not. But as
It was
John
made clear
said,
the other night that they don't want trespassers because
Okay.
it is private property.
Okay.
So the only way to view this, if you can't from Center Street, would be by, say, a Google Map, a picture taken when there's no vegetation alive so you
that
can
would be
see.
an option to, if you wanted an aerial view of the property, that would be an option.
I certainly
I don't
would
know if you
like
can see
one.
signs from Google Map though,
Yeah.
Bill.
But doesn't it get inspected at, if order of conditions issued?
I'm sorry?
Then if the order of conditions is issued, then the town reviews the work.
Yes, yep, once something is
so it
approved, as
gets
part of the
reviewed.
approval is that we're out there
It's not like we
regularly.
never go in there.
I didn't
whether
say
it's
that.
Emily or any of this
I
group.
didn't say that. I was
Oh, okay.
curious for my own
Oh, okay, for
knowledge.
yourself.
That's
All
why
right.
I'm asking.
Okay.
So I'll have to see what happens then, I guess. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm Cameron Zarini. I'm in 168 Center Street, one of the abutters. And the question I have is, I'm still not sure where is that 1.5 mobile home?
So the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction is 100 feet from the wetland
Sure.
edge. The wetlands are highlighted in green. The yellow is the 100 feet from the wetlands. This is a proposed mobile home unit. this is a proposed mobile home unit. So you can see this unit and about half of this unit are within the 100-foot setback.
Okay. Thank you. And one follow-up question, John, please don't go
Yeah.
too far. Where you said you are adding vegetation to the site. Can you also highlight or point out
So the
where?
majority of the vegetation, what we're doing is we're maintaining an existing wood line along the boundary with 168 Center. And any trees, if there's a section where there's a gap in the vegetation, what our note says is we're gonna actually add vegetation. We're actually putting a fence. This is well outside the commission's jurisdiction over here. We're also adding vegetation along this corner of the property. There is some vegetation located within the commission's jurisdiction that's going in right along that lot line, but that whole thing is being vegetated on that corner.
Okay, thank you.
Yes?
Andrew Height, town meeting member, precinct 4. Watched the planning board meeting last night. I know you guys were talking about snow storage. I didn't know where it was, and it looks like everything, all the contour goes towards the back of the property. Is that correct?
So actually, this is the plan. Proposed snow stockpile area is all right in this location. So it's all outside the commission's jurisdiction. And yes, the whole topography, if you look at the site, there's a high spot right behind 182, right here. We're not touching any of this hill. We are grading slightly into it in this location to build visitor parking. This whole topography goes down in this direction, and then it gets caught by the drainage.
So
that's-
right now, until you do that, everything essentially right now flows into the wetlands.
Yeah, we're not changing, everything currently goes to the wetland.
and
It
so-
will still go to the wetland,
But it's going to get filtered
but it's
by.
now gonna get caught by our proposed drainage.
And again, I don't know what's in the standard order of conditions for you guys. I would like to see signs or something. I know you guys done it before. Put signs along probably the orange line or whatever line there is, like no snow storage or something, no something like, I don't know what's in your standard order of conditions and that stuff. And if there's I'm assuming you submit like a maintenance plan for the
Yes,
basins?
there is an operation and maintenance plan that's submitted to engineering. It's a requirement under the state code as well. Okay, that wasn't true. That's the requirement of the
Sorry, John, please just come up to the mic, just so that people at home can
It's
hear
a
you.
requirement of the development to maintain that system. And again, what happens is if the commission is inclined to issue an order for conditions for the project, once the project starts, there'll most likely be inspections from the town at particular parts of the project. Once the project is complete, one of the criteria under the order of conditions is that we have to perform an as-built plan of what was built. We have to evaluate it versus the design. We have to put a letter together certifying compliance with the approved plan. An as-built plan gets submitted to the Conservation Commission for a request for a certificate of compliance. So then everything that was built gets documented on an as-built, which would also include those monuments that we discussed earlier that would most likely end up right along that 35-foot no disturb zone.
Are there any other questions?
Okay, I do have someone remote.
Oh, yeah, yep.
All right, so Sandra, I'm just gonna unmute you 1 second. Okay, Sandra, can you say something so we can see if we can hear you? Can't hear you yet. Let me see. Sorry about this. Okay, Sandra, can you hear me?
It's nothing that I can do. It's something on her end.
Okay. Oh, she's typing something. One sec. Always at the mercy of technology. Okay, she can hear me, or she can hear us, I should say. And she's unmuted. All right, Sandra, it's a little unique, but if you want to drop your phone number in the chat, I can give you a call, and then we'll be able to hear you so we can get you on the record for any questions or anything that you would like to ask, if that's okay with you.
She can hear us just fine. It's nothing that I can really control.
Okay, no, that's okay.
I'm not sure.
That's okay. We'll figure it out. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to give her a call, put her on speakerphone, and we'll make it work.
Hello?
Hi there, Sandra.
Yes, let me just turn off my computer speaker.
Yes, please. And I'm just gonna, if you can just, whenever you're ready, introduce yourself so that everyone can hear you, and go forward with your questions whenever you're ready.
Thank you. First of all, I appreciate you working. Very, very much appreciated.
Of course.
My name is Sandra Kesting, and I am a direct abutter. As the first speaker noted, and I'm sorry, I already forgot her name, we have been following this project for a very long time. And last year, we all came out in full force, and as she mentioned, we were very much against the increasing the units on this piece of property. I would like to mention that there was a comment made by, I believe his name was Dan. We did not come into any agreement with them on anything. The only agreement that was done was because the zoning board shot things down. I'm not really sure how those 1.5 units got into the space that they're in, because there was a proposal for an additional 3 there, and the zoning board said absolutely not. That's too close to the buffer zone. So now we have all this other work that wants to get done in the 100-foot buffer zone. I just want to say this. There's a deer population that beds down in that area. And, you know, I don't necessarily want to see additional water pushed. There's also a natural stream, as you all know. I don't want to see additional water pushed there, which may in turn shorten the bedding area for these animals. We have turkeys, we have deer, you know, we have it all there. And I would like the Conservation Commission to really think about what the buffer is there for. There's so much building that goes on, and some of it just we have no control of, but situations like this, we have a lot of control of. It's a very big area of vegetation with some natural water for the animals. You know, once you start digging and paving and, you know, that's it, it's gone. It's gone forever. So I just wanted to make my thoughts noted on the record that I'm very much against any additional, you know, I mean, if they want to clean up some debris, they should. It's their property. They should make their property more as appealing as possible for their current and potential renters. As far as anything beyond the 100-foot buffer, I am just against it. You know, we have been fighting this project, and I, you know, like I said, we did not have an agreement with the owners about anything, so I'm not sure what the gentleman was speaking about. That was the only agreements that went through were because the zoning board shot them down. So I appreciate your time tonight, and I do hope that you give it a lot of consideration. You know what they say about paving paradise, the parking lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Does anybody else have any questions? What do you guys think? Um,
Yeah, my only, I mean, are we allowed to chat among ourselves? How does this work? We close the public meeting and then,
No, we don't want to.
wanna close
I think we should just go back to the board, and I would just say, that I think we should go out and view the site. You know,
Yeah, I
I
think.
kind of have
this-
an idea where it is, but I've never been up in there and never been up behind, so I would like to see it.
Yeah, I agree.
And, if it's a big decision, it's probably better to have 5 members
Okay.
here instead of 3.
Yeah, I think so too. And the houses where you're putting, that space in our yellow zone, is that area and where you're doing the stormwater management for the new units, is that area all forested?
It's, like I said, it's part new growth, old growth.
But it's
So it's
still a-
not fully
It's
forested.
still, but where those are, it's still forested? It's still,
There's vegetation there,
Vegetation,
and
yeah.
we'll be able to show that when we go out on the sidewalk. I can show you that.
yeah, I think I'm good for a site visit. What do you guys think? Yeah?
Absolutely.
That's fine. I'd be more than happy. Just let us know what time.
Yeah, Emily?
Yeah, we'll schedule something. The next meeting is April 9th, so we can try to schedule something before then if that works out for everyone's agendas.
Thank you.
Perfect.
And, just before we move to the next step, I do see Sandra is just typing something else in the chat.
Oh, of
So
course.
before we move on, I just want to make sure, oh, no, she's all set. She had her hand still up, but she took it down. It's okay.
All right.
We just want to have a vote to continue.
So, where would is it on here?
No.
Well, sort of. It's just, first vote would be to close the public hearing.
Oh, I see.
But
So,
we
want me
now
to
we're
do a
gonna say,
motion?
no, we want to continue the public hearing.
so I move. Do I do this? I move to close the public
No,
meeting?
no, we don't
No,
want to close
we
the
don't
public
wanna
hearing
close it.
yet.
We
No,
wanna-
because
we
we're
wanna
continuing it.
Continue
Oh,
it.
oh, we're just continuing.
Just make I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I just make a motion that we continue this hearing for 98 Newberry Street, DEP file number 1449, to our next meeting, which is on April
April
the
9th.
9th. And that will be pending a site visit.
Yes.
Right?
I second the motion?
You can't
Oh,
technically.
you know, it's first, yeah.
Then- So now you second the poll.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can't make motions or something.
I learned that.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, let's see. So next is Summer Street.
Next is Cherry Hill Drive.
Oh, Cherry Hill?
Yep, 54 Cherry Hill Drive.
All right.
1 second, it looks like Danelle just emailed me.
Summer Street, right here. Okay.
All right. Our next space is 54 Cherry Hill Drive, RDA, DCC file number 2026-01, and the applicant is A Biomed.
And we have Danelle here. So Danelle, I'm just going to try to unmute you, and if we have the same problem, I may just need to give you a call. Technology. All right.
Failing us.
It is failing us this evening, but that's okay. We'll make do. Danelle, can you please try to say something if we can hear you? Not
Hello?
yet. Oh, yes, we've got you.
Hello, you got me?
Yes, Danelle, we can hear you.
Perfect.
See you.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, just let me get to the correct page here. Okay.
No,
All
no
right,
problem.
Danelle, we should be good to go. Just make sure you speak loudly, please. It's a little tough to hear in here.
no problem. So, would the camera work? I'm not sure.
Yes, yep, the screen is working. So I have your presentation
okay.
up.
Okay. I guess I can't show my face, but that's okay. I guess I look presentable in the little snippet that I have there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Danelle Baptiste. I am a project manager with High Point Engineering. I am representing Abiomed Johnson & Johnson for a request for determination on their property that's located on 54 Cherry Hill Drive in Danvers. Next slide, please. So we recently did a full site topo, Bracken Engineering, just some housekeeping on the site. The site is bounded by a isolated vegetated wetlands on the top left of the screen. There is a normal BBW to the north, and towards the eastern part of the site, there is an intermittent stream that's identified on the site. The site does not have any encumbrances on any endangered species. The site is not within a FEMA flood zone. As you can see, the site has existing parking. The site is about 10.4 acres, and it harbors an existing 67,000 square foot research and development facility. And in front of the site, along Cherry Hill Drive, there is an existing stormwater basin to handle the existing stormwater mitigation on site. Next slide, please. This is just a colored version of what you see, more enhancements. This is actually the proposed development for this project. As you can see, we are enhancing the landscape aesthetics. We are proposing a stormwater management system to the southwest of the project. We are mitigating all new impervious areas, and we are increasing the parking lot size to accommodate future growth from the building and the programming within. In white, there is a new addition that's being proposed. The client is looking to raise about 8,000 to 9,000 square foot of existing building to accommodate the proposed 23,000 square foot building for their expansion and research and development programming. To the the subject site is bounded by Cherry Hill Drive. To the east, commercial and research facilities to the southwest. Just beyond the limits of this presentation here, there is a Beverly Municipal Airport towards the north, and the property currently has 2 access points, which will be maintained as part of the proposed programming. Next slide, please. Being that this is a conservation commission, I'm going to go right into the disturbances and discuss how the site is being protected, and hoping we could get a negative determination for the site. So as you can see, we color-coded the area. I will get into there's a chart there. It's a little small, but we have a blow-up that we could actually see the numbers. But before we get into the numbers, I want to explain what you're seeing. So the site does not.
One sec, Danelle.
Somebody's on battery.
All right, Danelle, hang on. We lost your sound for a second. All right. Danelle, can you please try to say something? All right, Danelle, I see that you're trying to say something, but looks like we've lost your sound here. If you want to drop a number in the chat, I can do the same thing that we just did and give you a call, so that we can make sure that you're able to get your hearing through tonight. So we don't have to stall your presentation. All right, folks, I'm really sorry about this technology.
I'm gonna personally go to the board to fix the
Okay.
AV for the senior center now.
Sometimes it
Whatever
works
board it is.
perfectly, and sometimes we improvise. So,
Hi. If you record your name and
all right, Danelle, it just went right to your voicemail. I'm going to try again.
Can you go to the,
Hey, Danelle, we have your architect here.
Hi, introducing myself. My name is Cindy Murphy. I'm from Genesis AEC. Sorry, I'm hearing an echo.
No, I'm sorry. Could
that's
you
okay.
state your name one more time? I was trying to disconnect the phone.
Sure, Cindy Murphy.
Okay, great.
From
Thank you.
Genesis Architects. Danelle, if you want to call my cell phone or through Teams, I can put you on speakerphone, if that's easier. Hoping he heard that.
So sorry, folks. Oh, do you have his number? He just said to try calling him again.
Pull it back up.
If not, I can try to get him on the line again.
Yeah, if you have it right
Okay.
there.
All right, I'll give him a call. Oh, gotcha.
Hi. Hello?
Hi, Danelle?
Hi.
Oh, okay, we've got you on speakerphone.
He's got to mute himself.
And then just please, Danelle, please mute your computer.
Okay, let's see. Does that work?
Yep. Can everyone hear him? Okay.
when you speak?
Does that work, everyone? Can everyone hear me?
Yep, sounds
Yes.
like it.
Okay, perfect. Technology is the best. So I just wanted to start off by saying the proposed project does not involve any disturbance between the 35 and the 50-foot buffer zones depicted in orange and red. The only disturbances to this project is within the 100-foot buffer zone. So on this plan depicted in red is the impact to proposed impervious area. It comes up to about 9,000 square feet of impervious area. The kind of bluish purple is just the extent of resource area disturbance is at 100 foot. On the back of that parking lot, there's a curb. So if you could go back to I'm not sure if you could see the existing conditions plan, but could you go back to the existing condition plans? I just want to give a high level overview of how the grading works on site.
Yep, one sec, Danelle. This one?
I think it's the one before that one.
Okay,
Thanks, Emily.
sure.
So if the town could bear with me on the image here, so the site grades away from the wetlands. So the proposed development area, if you could depict drainage, if drainage falls right on that little blue 100-foot buffer line, everything drains towards the parking lot and towards Cherry Hill Drive. So our impact is actually shaded by that curb area that's surrounding the parking lot. And we plan to maintain the limits of the parking lot and have everything drain towards that area. Also, we wanted to highlight that area is going to be protected by a temporary fence, construction fence, along with straw wattles that's 12 inches in diameter and overlap 8 inches, which provides a more secure seal to prevent any silt or debris from entering the resource area that pretty much surrounds the site. I wanted to discuss, back up a little bit, we submitted supplementary plans, a package on the 19th of March. The executive summary was updated to properly describe the disturbance area. So that language was updated. We'll send it to Emily. Thank you, Emily, for making that call out. We also updated the exhibit disturbance that we'll show you shortly. The numbers, we updated that to clearly reflect the disturbances on the site. There were some minor oversight, and we adjusted that. We also submitted a waiver as part of the RDA submission, and the waiver was for a 50-foot no build. The question may rise, hey, why are you doing a waiver for for a 50-foot no build, as the current site does not even pose that. Our client is contemplating doing a potential footbridge that crosses the property line on the 2442 side, pedestrian path rather, and it's a canopy. So it was advised that, you know, to go forward with the waiver in the event the programming along the property line of the 2242 Cherry Hill Drive and 54 Cherry Hill Drive comes to fruition. So I just wanted to be clear that there is no violation with that waiver. It's for potential programming change. Thanks, Emily. Could you go to the chart that blows up and shows the disturbance areas, please?
I will try to, it gets a little blurry when it blows up, so just bear with me 1 second. I'm not sure if it's going to be visible. Okay, I think that's the best we can do. It's still a little blurry.
Oh, it's a little blurry. Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. So basically, what this says is on the zero to 35 foot disturbances, there's zero disturbances in pre-development and post-development, so a net zero. From the 35 to 50 foot buffer zone, the pre-development, there's 173 square foot of disturbance and equivalent 173 disturbance, further cementing the fact that there's no delta in the disturbances between those zones. Moving forward to the 50 foot and 100 foot buffer zones, for the pre-development, there's 1,570 square feet of existing disturbance, and you can see to accommodate the new development, there's a 10,750 square foot of impervious disturbance. So we have a net of 9,180 square foot of new impervious area within the jurisdictional buffer zone. Can you go to the next slide, please?
I just zoom back out.
Is it okay to ask a question?
Yeah, Danelle, we have a commission member that has a question for you,
Yeah.
okay?
Sure.
So just, can you just clarify where this additional 10,923 feet is in this drawing? Is it just the orangey, pinky area along the parking lot? Is that the 10,000 feet that the new?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
depicted in that crosshatch, that red crosshatch,
Okay.
that's where the additional pavement is
Okay.
added to the project.
And how many additional parking spots is that? I'm just curious.
I don't have that number off the top of my head, but we're almost doubling the parking on site. We have a total of 187 parking spaces now
Okay.
with the proposed development.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So as you can see, that the project barely encroaches on 100 foot, hence why we are going for request of determination and not an NOI. I also want to bring to the board's attention that we have proposed no storage placards within the 100-foot buffer zone to deter any facilities manager or whoever is doing snow remediation from stockpiling snow storage within that area.
How did they do this year with all the snow? There was an issue last year with snow being stored where there was a sign saying no snow storage.
I'm not sure, because last year I'm not sure if we had ownership of this property. I think this property was, there's an agreement between Abiomed and the current owners to provide development on this site. So I believe we obtained this agreement sometime end of last year. So I wouldn't be able to speak upon what transpired on this site in the past.
Yeah, I can clarify that one a little bit. Starting on January 1st of this year, we got a key to the building so that we could get inside, or not we, Biomed did, so they could get inside and survey it. However, they are not responsible for site maintenance until they start doing construction on site. So it's still under the landlord's responsibility.
The previous landlord.
It's the current landlord. The property owner will still be the same property owner.
Okay, just
When
that Abumed there's some history that they
Yeah.
didn't follow the no snow storage sign.
Yeah,
We want
it-
to make sure that doesn't happen again.
we will definitely communicate that. The prior tenant, I think, when they were occupied, which I think was Millipore, they were responsible for it. So until a biomed moves into the building, they're not responsible for the site maintenance under their lease terms.
Probably wasn't this building, it was one farther down.
Yeah, maybe. You can continue, Danelle, sorry.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for chiming in. Any other questions on this slide? I'm more than happy to answer any questions on the slide before I move on. All set? Could you move to the next slide, please, Emily? This is just a layout. I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's a conservation hearing, but this is the proposed development. We are providing stormwater management, as I mentioned before. We are enhancing the landscape aesthetics as well. We have snow storage indicated in the hatch areas. We've modified the tree lines to be outside of the 50-foot buffer zone. We have charging stations. We have ADA accessible routes and lighting enhancements to support the new development as well. Next slide, please. This is just a quick snippet of a grading plan, just to demonstrate to the board that stormwater is being mitigated, treated, and it complies with Mass DEP Stormwater Handbook. The site, everything from the site will be treated per the regulations. We are scheduled to go in front of Planning Board next month for a site plan review and for stormwater permit. It just so happens that this board, the commission scheduling this meeting happened first, but we are going to go in front of Planning Board and engineering to qualify our design and our site plan. Next slide, please. I thought it was worthwhile to show the board that we are protecting the resource area. If you look to the left, I show a standard detail of our straw wattle, emphasizing that it is 12-inch diameter, and the overlap, as you can see, depicted on that lower left corner. Snow storage is provided, and it's outside of the 100-foot buffer zone, as mentioned before. I wanted to highlight that the snow storage, there's no, in this O&M, there's no de-icing compounds such as calcium chloride or calcium magnesium acetates, so no de-icing measures that could potentially compromise the integrity of the wetlands is proposed, and it's clearly written in the O&M. Landscaping is going to be periodically addressed as far as for a maintenance standpoint, twice a year, and the site is protected, and this O&M is jurisdictional. It has to be on site during construction operations. Next slide, please. So that concludes the presentation. I thank the board for allowing High Point on behalf of Abumed Johnson & Johnson to present in front of you guys tonight. I'm open for any questions as of now. Thank you.
Paul, do you have any questions?
I guess so. You know, I read, there's a lot of documents, so I read through, probably not all of them, but I read through a lot of them. You know, and it's just a little bit unclear, so what, and maybe this gets covered in the stormwater approval, but what exactly will be done to kind of address the fact this is 10,000 square feet of new impervious? What's being done to address that? Is that the stormwater?
I can barely hear. I apologize. Could you restate what you said, Emily, please?
Yeah. No, maybe I'm answering the question myself, but that's okay. But that's okay.
You sound really clear now.
I got the phone in my hand. So the documents have about 11,000 square feet of new impervious ground. And my question is, so what are the plans to address that, to minimize the runoff from this new impervious, or 10,000, 11,000 square feet of new impervious ground? That's my question.
Yep, no problem. Emily, could you go back to the stormwater grading and drainage plan, please? Thank you. Could you, I'm not sure if you have a cursor, but
I'll point.
the lower left of the plan is
It's okay.
a proposed infiltration basin. So what that does is just upstream of that basin, there is a proprietary water quality unit. So before it even enters this infiltration basin, it gets cleaned. And it then discharges into this basin for further mitigation and water quality. So here is where it gets attenuated. And the flow infiltrates, and when it goes beyond the capacity of the basin, then it discharges back into the Cherry Hill Drive stormwater system. So this is a location where it offsets that increase in impervious area that you just discussed. It's mitigated within this basin here.
And that gets approved in the stormwater permitting?
that would be part of the stormwater permit process.
Thank you.
Peter, do you have any questions?
No questions per se, it's just that, I guess, I'll state my viewpoint. Seems like a fairly involved project, and that whole area over there is pretty involved. There's, I think Millipore has quite a good-sized project going on right now, so I would not be inclined to vote for a negative determination. I would like to see the site first, but
Yeah, I think a site visit.
I think, and I also think beyond that, they should be asking for an order of conditions.
And
There's a lot of work going on within our jurisdiction, and there's, Abiomed has a lot going on. This is probably since I've been on the board, it's probably the 5th project that we've talked about, so I would just like to see them go through
Sure, so it's up to the commission if you want to you have the options of either a negative determination, a positive determination, or continue with the site visit.
Right.
Based on tonight.
I'm fine with the site visit.
I'm good with a site visit. How does that work if we decide to change what
if-
Peter said?
If you issue a positive determination, then that means that they will need to they'll have to submit a notice of intent and receive an order of conditions in order to move forward with the project.
Yep. And if we do negative?
And if you do a negative, then the project can go as presented.
with no real oversight. They
Yeah.
don't come back to us with an
Right.
as-built.
So do we site visit before we do the positive or negative?
If you would like to do a site visit, then we would continue this hearing, and you would make the either positive or negative determination at the next meeting on April 9th, and we would have the site visit in between.
All right, I don't think we should be voting on anything
Yeah, I
until we
don't
see
think so
the
either.
site.
No, I
Yes,
agree.
Site visit,
I agree.
yeah.
It's a
And then,
pretty
like,
big
it's the
project.
same as the previous, we'd have 2 other members too that
Yeah.
would have their questions and
That's a good point, too.
opinions.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
If the board allows, I just want to make a quick follow-up comment, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that the proposed development does not affect the wetlands, absolutely, there's no indication of any effects to the wetland as everything flows away. So it's not like where we have typical projects where impervious area enters the wetland, we're disturbing the wetland area relative to stormwater. In this particular case, there's no stormwater that goes in the direction of the wetland because the wetland is higher than the site. So, and even if there is any encroachment into wetland, it's the grass and the landscape area that was already there, and we are providing a perimeter protection to that area. I just wanted to just make that clear. Thank you.
Thank you. We're all set, right? So we can ask the public? All right. Is there anyone present who would like to speak? Okay.
Okay, and I have no one online for this item either.
All right, and then what do we do now?
I'm going to just vote to continue. Now, you want me to make a motion? for
Yeah.
that? All right, I'd like to make a motion that we continue the public hearing on 54 Cherry Hill Drive, DCC file number 2026-01, to our next meeting on
April 9th.
April 9th, and hopefully we could get a site visit scheduled before that. Because I think we all want to see the site before we vote one way or the other.
All right, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Danelle, if you're still on the line, I'll be in touch with you so that we can get a site visit set up, okay?
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you were here, so you could step up with technology. Appreciate it.
All right, so now we're doing 65 Summer.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you
Bouncing
guys
around
for
a
the
little bit.
information. All right, let's see. Okay, our next piece, next location we're going to work on is 65 Summer Street, RDA, DCC file number 2026-02, and the applicant is St. John's Prep School.
Good evening. My name is Katie Cruz. I'm a civil engineer with Hancock Associates representing the school. Emily, if you could go to sheet C4, please. So this project is related to improvements to an existing dining hall on the St. John's Prep campus on Summer Street. The work within the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction is very limited in the scope of the project. It consists of site work related to these improvements. As you're familiar with, the green line on this plan is the edge of wetlands. The red line is the no disturb zone, the orange is no build, and the yellow line is the 100-foot buffer zone. The work within the buffer zone, no work is proposed within the no build or no disturb, consists of repaving an existing driveway and parking area and replacing the curb there. There will also be a small reduction in impervious area. If you can see near Summer Street, there's a jog in the curb line at the end of the parking spaces closest to the wetland. That jog is not there in the current condition, so about 350 square feet of impervious area will be removed. This paved area will just be paved in the current condition at existing grades. Is simply a resurfacing project. It does not drain to this wetland that's adjacent to it. It drains to this dashed in detention pond, which is in the lower corner of the screen. I think you probably just saw it.
Whenever I stand up, it comes back.
Don't sit.
I know, right?
That pond was built under a previous order of conditions that was issued by this commission about 10 years ago. And it's the same amount of water, slightly less actually, that will be draining to it in the proposed condition. So it's a very small request. We're requesting a negative determination. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Just so I'm clear, so basically, the request is just for doing the work. Once the work is done, you're basically the same, your same conditions, whether you had prior to the work being done, correct?
Correct. It's paved now. It will be paved, except a little bit less of it will be paved.
Where is that reduction in pavement that you mentioned?
So in the current condition, this curb line extends straight to the street. We're removing this little jog right here and replacing it with grass.
Is that the 360 square feet?
Yes, it is.
So that's the only change within our space?
Correct.
And the only work within our jurisdiction, within the 100-foot buffer, is to remove pavement, do your work, and replace the pavement.
Right, they just want a new clean surface when they have their
Right.
beautiful dining hall, so.
Yeah, and
Are
it's
they
a-
gonna demolish the current dining hall, or?
They'll be demolishing a portion of the back of the site, which is where they have their kitchen, and replacing that with a new addition there.
When are they hoping to do this work?
I think they would like to start this summer.
That's all I have for questions.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Thank
Is
you.
there anybody here that would like to speak? Yeah.
Sir, please go to the microphone and state your name and address.
Yeah, you have to go to the mic so we can hear you.
Because this is all being video recorded, and people won't know what you're saying if they can't hear you, so you need to step up to the mic.
And Katie, just please speak up when that's on.
Well,
Sure. Yeah, and if there's anything that I said that you missed, I'm happy to repeat.
You are very difficult to hear as a presenter. And not easy to tell you that.
Fair enough, I'm happy to repeat anything
Yeah. I
Sir,
don't know
could you
what
identify yourself, please?
I don't know what for you to repeat.
I'm sorry,
Because
sir.
I didn't hear what
Sir.
you
Sir.
said.
Could
Sir,
you
please
just
identify yourself
identify?
if you're at the microphone.
Yeah, I'm Paul Gerard, and I live on Ledgewood Drive, number 9, which is a good distance away from St. John's Prep. I don't even know why I got an abutter's letter, to be honest with you. But I came out of curiosity. My right
Of
to
course.
come and ask, and to be, outspoken, I guess. Really.
All right, so who's next? Thank you so much.
My name's Niall McManus. I've nothing about St. John's. That's pretty simple. I'd just like to say I'm a developer. I've done a lot of construction, and I've lived in Danvers for 5 years. And I've done a lot of these meetings all over Massachusetts. And for this standard of a meeting, for you guys to put on, it's an absolute disgrace. Screen's not working. People not knowing what to do on the board. I hope you take this as positive criticism, but it's been one of the worst meetings I've ever been at. And I'm not on about the screen only. They don't know when to motion, they don't know. I think you guys have to get your act together, and I hope you take that constructively, because I'm sure you're all qualified to be on it, but I'd like to think there's at least one civil engineer or somebody with a background that is here. You put off 2 meetings tonight, because obviously, there's things going on, but 2 members aren't here to put site meetings on for down the road and just kick things down the road. It's not good for developers, it's not good for residents, and to come here and spend this amount of time with screens not working, phoning in. I mean, we're not in the 18th century. I'm from Ireland, and we had better technology in the 80s. So I hope you take that on board. Thank you. Best luck with your project.
Is there anybody else who'd like to speak? Yeah.
Paul Pollack, 60 Summer Street. I don't think I'm in a butter, but they sent the notice out, so I figured I wanted to come and see what was going on. Trying to figure out where 65 Summer Street was, because the property right across from me is 63. Okay, now if you go up the hill, and this is why I'm up here, probably more to see the map than anything else, but if you go up the hill from my house, the first building at the prep is the, I don't know if you call that a little auditorium. Everybody with me on that one?
Benjamin Hall, I think it is.
I guess that's it, yeah. We used to vote there years ago when they Benjamin Hall, and then there's the main, the building now that is the middle school building. That was there originally years and years ago. Then there's a library that they just put up maybe 20 years ago, and then there's a big dining hall. Is that where we're talking about? Is that where this project is? Just let me know where it is. And we're talking about a small area that you want to redress, I guess it's. Right, okay. So a lot of people around that area, me included, thought there was a building going on. Wetlands, et cetera, okay? And I'm still, now you've explained it to me. I know where it is. Thank you very much. But this is not good. The project is good. I mean, I don't have any problem with it, but it's hard to see. It really is. Very, very difficult. And I'm at other meetings in town, and the same thing happens. You know, you can't have 20/20. You must have to have something else. 00 or whatever it is to see these things, okay? But thanks for your patience.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that'd like to talk? We good? Okay.
Yeah, I do not have anyone online that would like to speak.
Okay. So what do we
But, is this a public hearing?
Since we opened it to the public, close it, yeah.
Yes, you want to close the public hearing, first of all.
I make a motion to close the public
No,
hearing.
we can't.
Oh, sorry.
So first thing we have to vote on, so.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing for 65 Summer Street, DCC file number 2026-02.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, personally, I see no reason to have a positive, no, we want a negative
Yeah,
determination.
they're requesting a negative.
Right. So I'd like to make a motion that we issue a negative determination of applicability for this project at 65 Summer Street, DCC number 2026-02.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so it's
All
either
right.
or, so that's that.
We're good? Thank you.
Approve the minutes.
So now we get,
Then we accept the minutes from January.
Thank you guys for your
you're welcome.
tolerance and patience.
Mr. Gerard, you hired me for my first teaching job. Were you in Haverhill?
I was.
You were. You hired me in 1997. My last name wasn't Height, it was Robinson.
Oh, my goodness. What were you teaching?
Biology. But we gotta move on.
All
Sorry.
right, moving on.
Yep, okay.
That's funny.
Sorry, we just have one more thing for the
Yeah,
meeting.
no, I
and then
know.
Well,
As soon
thank
as
you
we're
for
done,
your
you guys
good
can chat.
judgment and personnel.
There you go.
She was a good person, but you guys put up,
Okay.
lot to listen to.
Yep.
All right,
coming.
so have we all read and approved?
No, we all read. We'll have to vote to approve them.
All right, so where is it here?
Shall I make a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes from the meeting of February 12th,
Sorry,
2026.
January 22nd, right? Or February 12th?
February 12th.
February 12th, I'm sorry.
That's what I said, right? February 12th?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And
Might have.
is there anything else, Emily?
No, next meeting is April 9th. We'll schedule a couple of site visits in the interim, and hopefully at that meeting we'll have a full commission, and we can,
Okay, and you're going to try and get those two site visits?
yes, yep, I'll get those scheduled before the next meeting.
Okay,
Need a motion to adjourn?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sir,
Good night.
I think I know your daughter. I speak to your daughter. She's walking the big dog, Mizzy? Yeah, I think she had told me once that you were, because you were on the school committee, weren't you?
My wife
Yeah.
was on for 10 years.
Your wife was?
Yeah, she was actually on for school, but she had some health issues. She had to go off. But she had been a middle school principal.
Yeah?
Now offline.
We are now offline.
Barely, we were off and online.
She was really
I have
upset that she
no
had to
idea.
leave. She wanted to finish the 2 years. And
I
I'm
haven't
on
had
FinCom.
I was gonna say, you're on,
I'm FinCom and with the Human Rights
I
Inclusion
don't know,
Board.
I don't
This is
know
no
what
problem.
went
I
wrong
just
tonight.
didn't know where.
Clearly the gentleman was happy.
I came here with the idea that
Was it-
65 Summer Street
was a new building?
was a vacant lot, basically, from 63 Summer Street up to where the little auditorium is. And I think that, to me, that was gonna be all hell breaking loose, excuse my French, because there is a big wet area down below there.
Right.
But it was, no, it's just little.
Which house is yours on Summer Street?
If you come out of Rockland, from Rockland to
You take a
go
right and a left.
Let's say you're coming up Rockland to get onto Summer Street, okay, and you're gonna take a right, I'm right there. I have
On the
to-
opposite?
Yeah, on the
Okay.
opposite. I have to watch out when I back up.
Okay, so
Someone
going
doesn't
down
come
the hill.
flying around
Yeah,
Rockland,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, I've been there for a while, but I just couldn't figure out, where is this piece of land? I'm thinking a lot, you know what I mean, that you're gonna build on. I'm saying to myself, what's that?
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Now, every project they've come to us with, they've been good. They're thorough and they're thorough and they know what they're doing.
But I just,
We can't discuss the hearings without.
and, you know, really, in all honesty, I don't know how you people can see that.
Oh, we can't.
But you have paperwork in front
Well,
of
we
you.
get paperwork ahead of time. But,
It's wonderful until it isn't.
well, the other thing is too, is that
Like that